Veronica Taylor. I'm a voice actor from New York City, and I've worked on a lot of different things, Pokemon being, I suppose, the main one, playing Ash and May and Ash's mom and a couple of Pokemon. I've also done Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some things on Yu-Gi-Oh! I do some things for PBS, some kids programs, a lot of different, animated things. So, I don't know what you want to talk about, so why don't we start it off by, if you have a question, raise your hand, I'll come out, and we can just get it rolling from there. Okay, here we go. I hope I crossed the Okay, what is your question? What is your favorite Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon is Pikachu. Hands down.
How did you get into voice acting?
Well, this is safe. Okay, I'm a free range actor right now. I always wanted to be an actor, and so I did whatever I could acting-wise. I studied at university, I went to graduate school, I was in shows since I was 5 years old. I always did workshops, I did anything I could do. I did dance, I did soccer, I did singing lessons, anything I could do. And then voice acting just kind of came out of an audition that I did, that I happened to get into one thing, which led to something else, which led to Pokemon, and led to other anime, things like that. And it just happens that most of the work I do right now is voice related. My daughter is little, fairly little, not as little as she used to be. And so for me, voice acting has been a wonderful thing because it's fairly flexible, and I can still pick her up from school and try to get work in. And so I've been quite lucky to have work that's really flexible like that, and that I really love. I played Ash, and I love playing Ash because I love his energy and how positive he is, and to be a 10-year-old boy for 8 years was a really wonderful thing. I also loved, at the same time I was doing Amelia on Slayers, and she has a very, very high voice. She's crazy positive as well, but doing a voice that high kind of gives you a little bit of a head rush in a way. So to be able to come from come on, Pikachu, let's go! To, this is great! And just kind of leaving the studio with kind of, in a dizzy, excited way was really wonderful for me. I also played Yukino on His and Her Circumstances, and that was another one of my favorite parts because she was basically a normal high school girl who ranged from extremely happy to extremely angry to extremely, everything. And I think we all have that in ourselves, and she portrayed it in each episode. So I love the range of that. I can really go all the way. This is exciting. Okay.
What's your third favorite type of rice?
My third favorite type of rice. Brown would be first, jasmine second. I'm gonna go wild. Is that good? Okay. What's the oddest question I've ever been asked? That. Yes? My favorite episode of Pokemon? There were many episodes, so in a way I can't remember a specific one, but the parts that I really liked were, I love the battles. I love fighting, because I don't fight in my real life. And secondly, I love all of those tender moments that Ash has with Pikachu, and when they really, you can see them bonding as friends. Hey, buddy, those. That's what I really loved a lot.
There's been big news on the internet recently is about the Nokia-based Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles recently about them being aliens. What's your stance on that?
That the turtles were actually aliens? Well, I haven't read that, and this is the first I've heard of it, but that would be awesome. That they were spawned out of this sludge that they were born in, that's kind of an interesting thing. I'm gonna hope that's true. But I've never heard of that before. I wish April were an alien, so she'd had more to do on the show, I think. Anyone over here, since I've had my back to you? Yes?
obviously you've you talked about Pikachu and all those episodes of voicing the guy that was the companion. Did you ever actually meet the voice actress of Pikachu?
No, I've never been to Japan, and I do think that the woman who plays Pikachu is probably one of the most talented people ever, because to be able to put so much emotion into just the word Pika, and you can listen, I've listened to like almost the whole episode just listening to Pikachu, and she never sounds the same throughout the whole thing, so I think she's quite remarkable, but I've never had the opportunity to meet her.
I had a feeling that might go out as stream.
We never really see anyone who, the problem with doing something that's done in Japan and then comes here, we're just in our little studio working on it, and I barely even see any other actors because we work one at a time on everything. So you can go in and you just go your line to your line to your line. And so you would see the other actors just as you're passing by in the hall or something. But no, I'd love to go to Japan, but I'd love to meet especially the actress who plays Pikachu. Yeah.
Is it too hard to do your parts when you haven't got anything else to relate to? How do you do that?
Well, I think it is hard. Part of what you have to do is you develop a skill, I suppose, of skimming through you have the script in front of you, so you can see what the lines are written down, but you don't get the script ahead of time. So you skim down and kind of figure out what the characters are saying before you, what the gist of the scene is, and then you're watching the screen and then kind of going, and then you just kind of put it in and you say, I feel like, for instance, for Ash, he would probably say it like this, but the lip flap is totally different. So then you have to switch it. That's where, of course, the director is, you really need a director to say, actually, if the scene doesn't have that kind of energy, it's different. Everybody pulls together. But it is really hard because you're guessing. And when you have the luxury of doing a series for so long, then you kind of understand how the character would act. So I can guess how, let's say, Ash would say a certain line more quickly by season 3 than I could in season 1. But it is kind of a guessing game. But I've been an actor my whole life, so in a way, that's what you learn in acting school, is how to judge what the objective is right away. So you're kind of, because you're reading the lines, you're feeling the lip flap, and you're acting at the same time. So, which is why I think for a lot of people who say, I want to be a voice actor, what should I do? I think acting classes really help a lot, because then you don't have to think about the acting part, you're just doing it. Yeah. The hardest role. I think with Pokemon, in the beginning we auditioned for it, and I auditioned probably 4 times, and then I was cast, and then I was uncast because they decided they were going to use a real child, and then I was cast again, and then we did the first episode, and then we did the first episode maybe 5 times. So in a way, that was the hardest part to play, because no one would relax and just let you do it. And that's why even the voice of Ash shifted during the first season, as we were finally able to, between myself, the engineer, and the director, find out who Ash was and let it just kind of go. But in the beginning, there were so many cooks in the kitchen that we couldn't just do it. And I think Ash is a character that he really comes from the heart, and so you have to really just jump into him and be him. And I think it was the hardest for them to be able to let me just do that. And everyone was very nervous about it being a girl voicing Ash, and all of this stuff. So in a way, that was the hardest, to be able to just be allowed to play it. I think evil characters probably are second for me.
Two questions. What's it like to be Ash Ketchum? What's it like to see loads of people dressed up as Ash? And the third one is, what's it like to be a voice actor? Okay.
Well, I love seeing people dressed up as Ash, and also in Pokemon characters. I'm amazed that something that a person created, really sitting in his room at home, Satoshi Tajiri sitting around in his house thinking of this whole thing, and that it's spun into this world that we all can identify with, and that so many things have spun out of it, I find it blows my mind. I also love Ash. I don't ever dress up as Ash, but I love the character of Ash, so to see people as Ash, I love that. And what was the other, what is it like to be a voice actor? Being a voice actor is an amazing thing. Being an actor is a wonderful gift. To be able to jump into other people's lives, escape my own, and be someone else is a wonderful thing. Being a voice actor is great because nobody knows who I am. So I can go to work and go home, and I don't have to, like Jennifer Aniston, everybody knows who she is and cares what she's wearing and what perfume she has on. And I really can just go to work and go home. We can go to the zoo, and we're on our own. So that's a wonderful thing. But to be able to want to be an actor and be one is great. Voice acting is terrific also because you can play any character, and it's not limited to what I look like, how tall I am, or you know, what my hair looks like that day. It's just how I can kind of channel into the character. So it's a wonderful thing. I'll go all the way back. I'll come back up here. I don't know if I can reach you. Yeah?
If you were to start a cast for like a live action version of Pokemon World, who would you star as Ash? Who would you choose?
Me? No. Who should play Ash in a real movie? I don't. Do you have an idea of that? Is that why you asked? You already know. I never thought of that because the thought of me not being Ash makes me so sad. That pathetic, aren't I? You know, I don't know. Because maybe it would really have to be someone that nobody knew. You know what I mean? Because you couldn't have, oh gosh, does anyone else have an idea? Who should play Ash? What did you say? What did you say? Keanu Reeves. Ash after his adventures were over. I have to think about it. I don't know. Yeah. If I were going to live in any region of the Pokemon universe, what was the first region called?
Kanto.
Kanto, right. I always forget all of these things. Orange Island comes to mind. You know, I think I would live wherever Ash's mom was. Because the beauty of that is that you can always go home, change your clothes, get your laundry done, get some new underwear, and then head out again. Because I live in New York City. I love it, but I love to leave and go somewhere else. And then you bring your adventures back home. I guess similar to Ash. I've never really thought about this before, but it's sad. So I think I would choose wherever Ash's mom was living at the time. I'd go there. She has that great garden. It's probably all organic food. And so I guess they lived in, where did they live? Oh yeah, Allentown. But that's not in a region, right? So, okay, I never said any of these lines. They live in Kanto. I live there. Basically, the reason I don't know any of these things. So when I go to work, I just read my lines, and I never had to say, oh, I'm so happy I'm going back to Kanto to see my mom. So that's why I don't know. But yeah, Pallet Town, as in a match for the town of Pallet. I live there, Pallet Town. Yes.
So when you guys are on the road, what do you actually do for food? Do you actually kill Pokemon when you're not catching them?
I would never kill a Pokemon. Ash is vegetarian in that sense, I think. There's always fruit growing in the trees, and they're always in some cafe or something eating a sushi, a burger shaped like sushi. So that's where do we get the money though? That's where we trade in the Pokemon for money, slave labor maybe. I don't know. Yeah, they don't eat, they barely sleep. They don't need to, they're kids. Yeah. My favorite Pokemon theme song, the first one. I'm not going to sing it, but I do want to be the very best. That's definitely my favorite one, and it does kind of go around in my head sometimes. I love that, and the picture that goes with it. It's fun. Is that everybody's, or how many people like the first season one? The first, yeah. Everyone does. Second season, averaging. Anyone else? Poker rap? Yeah, not bad. We could all do that later on. Yeah. Who's my favorite gym leader? Misty. I'm not to say Misty, but her sisters. Misty's sisters. I don't really have a favorite one, unfortunately. Are there favorites in the audience? People that get to know one? Skylar? All right. Misty? We all just want to be a gym leader or Pokemon master. Yes. Ash's favorite companions, other than Pikachu, definitely Brock. How safe is that for an answer? Misty and May, awesome. Least favorite Max, because when you bring the little brother along, forget about it. Nothing personal, nothing personal. But I think what I liked is the combination of them all traveling together. I think Ash alone is not as great a person as he is with his friends working together. So, my favorite thing is that they all could travel together, and they, in that sense, they learned from each other, and they had much better adventures, I think. Although traveling alone is not bad, but I think traveling with your friends is better. So, yeah.
Do you think there's ever going to be like a Pokemon special where Ash is all of his companions again? Like all together?
I don't know, that would be a great idea if they brought it all back or had like a reunion or something. That would be a great idea. I have no idea though. I've never heard of something like that. I think it's a good idea. It would be fantastic, like a Christmas special, and they all sing songs. Yeah. Yeah.
Just out of sheer curiosity, right? What was the hardest part about him doing like the whole series?
The hardest part, I think, is coming in early in the morning and having to kind of dig into where Ash's voice was, or when you're really tired and he has so much energy. What's that? Oh, what early mornings are like, exactly, because it's hard to kind of get going. But doing that character, just who he is, I don't know. There's nothing really difficult about it because he's such a great character to play. Yeah.
Is there a specific type of character in general when it comes to voice acting that you're attracted to?
I like to play characters that are different than I am. I think a lot of people cast me as, someone who talks like this or something high. But I really like to play a range, definitely a range of ages or people. I think probably I'm attracted more to characters who are good than characters who are bad. And I much prefer to work on something that everyone can watch, not necessarily something that's like for 17 and above only or something like that. So, something, but as an actor, that's one thing you can't afford to be too picky, I guess. But a lot of roles that come my way are ones that I like, so that's a good thing, I guess. Yeah. All right, I'm coming back down. Yes? I work every day to be a Pokemon master. I don't know if it's attainable because we're all working to be our best, and so I'm working on that. But you'll be the first to know. Yeah.
Well, first of all, look what I've got. Yeah.
Is it a book or is it a video? Oh, nice! I remember VCRs.
Second of all, could you say China, I choose you in Ash Ketchum's voice?
China? Italian fans. China, I choose you! Oh my god, I love your fingernails too. When you're like Pokeball going, all your nails are out. Would Ash give you directions? That would be amazing. If anyone has connections, I would definitely do that. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, turn right. Go straight. Yes, I would definitely consider that. Would you really want to hear that though?
Would you do I love Misty without friends and Ash's voice?
No, I can never say that because as Ash would kill me if I said I love Misty. So I could not possibly say that. They're just friends. We're totally good friends. How about that? Misty's an awesome friend.
Hi, do you ever kind of like slip in your voices in public just to sort of freak people out?
Do I, like, if I go, I'll have a tea and she'll have a coffee. Oh yeah, me too. No, I don't do that ever. But I would think that sometimes people, my daughter would say, yes, I do. Sometimes I do different voices just to mix things up, but not a specific character. I won't do that here though. Nice talking to you.
Nice to say, and first, do you still watch Pokemon even though Bob is no longer does it?
I don't watch any of the new episodes. And mostly it's because it's so jarring to me to see different voices come out of those familiar faces that I can't watch. But it does come on Boomerang. Do you guys have that here, Boomerang a channel? We do watch it sometimes when it comes on. I watch the old ones.
Also, when you did Max Taylor in Dinosaur King, did you kind of like remember back when you did Ash? Because I remember the voices are quite similar.
Yeah, I was cast to do Max in Dinosaur King, slightly like, well, pretty much like Ash. We 4 kids had just lost Pokemon right then, and they got Dinosaur King, and then they were like, it's slightly different, but it's not really very different. So yes, it was pretty much a knockoff, I think. Yeah. Yes. That what? He would. That he was most like. Who would Ash date? Well, that's what I thought you were saying, and I was wait. I just want to make sure I understood that. Ash is 10, so I'm gonna say none of them. Is he? I don't know. I wouldn't know. Yeah, well, what about Bart Simpson? Nobody complains about that. He's still 10. Yeah. I really couldn't say because as someone who has channeled Ash, I suppose, I wouldn't say he would date any of them. Although they're all very good friends. But, it would be really messy if it didn't work out and then they still had to travel together. So I'd say he'd probably look for a date outside of his main pond. There. He'd probably find a girlfriend someday. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. If I were going on a Pokemon adventure, what 6 Pokemon would I take? Pikachu, because it's Pikachu. Lapras, because we could ride around on all the waterways. Maybe Charmander or maybe Charizard, one of those. For fire lighting, because we needed to cook. Trico, just because I like lizards. Is that 5? I need one more. Togepi doesn't really do anything. What's that? Charmander, well, that's Charizard. I could do one of those. I need what's a good one for flying? Well, Swallow? Maybe I would just see who we ran into and we could have one and drop it off and pick up another one. Maybe Tauros. Is that you charge us. If we could get into a lot of crowded places with toys, just charge right in. Maybe that would be it. I have never thought about that before. I just go with Pikachu because that's a great companion and we just meet people along the way. Yeah. I like Mudkip. Yeah. You know, of my favorite series of doing all the different Pokemon, I love the first series because we were really getting to know everybody and it was very simple. There were only 150 Pokemon. 150 Pokemon. Who were my favorite of those? I'm going to say May because I played her. Yeah. My second favorite would be Misty. Yeah, I like those. I don't really know Dawn or Iris about it. But they're just not as cool, I think. Yeah. The only Pokemon game I've played is Pokemon Red. It's very old school. My daughter plays that too. I haven't been able to play it very much because my little brother had it and my daughter has it. So the DS is pretty taken up. So, but that's my favorite one. And only because I like new characters walking around. And, yeah. If I were stuck on a desert island, which 3 companions, like Brock, May, maybe I'd take Ash's mom because she cooked. What? Oh, Brock can cook. Maybe we wouldn't need anybody else. Mr. Mime. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, no, I'm not Professor Oak. Yeah.
Do you have any blueprints for it?
I don't do a lot of, I mean, obviously I do make mistakes and mess up, but I don't really do a lot of bloopers, and I don't really do a lot of them on purpose, because really when you're in the studio, there's no time to be messing up at all. So, no, not really. But I will say that in terms of wasting time, one time when I was at work and I was working on His and Her Circumstances, and Yukino had this very long scream, and so I decided to just keep going as the whole picture went. But you can't breathe and scream at the same time. So I was screaming, ah, she's going, and then I stopped, and then I fainted. So that's a time waster right there. So that is probably the best / worst thing that's ever happened to me while I've been recording. But overall, I don't really have anything. Yeah, I don't really like to say anything. Like if you're doing something in the voice of Ash, and Ash wouldn't really swear, so as Ash, I wouldn't really like to do that because who knows where it would go. So not really, not so much. Say something for you? Hi. Oh, that's what you meant? Ash, you mean? When I grow up, I want to be a Pokemon Master! Woo! Well, I know a lot of people think Mr. Mime is creepy. I really like him. I find it comforting. He doesn't talk at all. He does a lot of housework. But there are, for the most part, and also you can keep them a bit at arm's length. So, I don't, do you? Do you have some? Oh yeah, that is kind of a weird one, actually. That's not on very much, I don't think. Yeah. I am able to kind of distance myself from that, especially for, like when we watch Pokemon, I really don't think about, oh, I should have said that line differently or whatever, because I feel for that the character really takes on his own self. Maybe if I saw myself in live action, I'm a bit more critical, but Yeah, with a cartoon, I kind of give it over to seeing the character, and I can forget it's me. With some, yeah, that's an interesting question, though.
This needs a bit of explanation. A couple of weeks ago, while reporting on this thing on Legend, our local newspaper put a picture of Ashram, but said it was cheating because they don't know what to do. Could you please, in Ash's voice, say it's over 9,000?
Yay!
Yeah. That's just because everybody here thought it was, the post on Facebook thought it was really silly, and they were thinking, oh, could you please say it's over 9,000, but in Ash's voice also. Which character have you gone to an audition for, and you didn't get, and it's the one that you most regretted? Yeah.
Okay, so first, it's over 9,000!
How dare you steal my phrase!
Woo!
I'm really busy. I gotta.
I love you, Veronica!
Oh.
You're great, Chris. What character did I? I don't know. I do audition for a lot of things, and I kind of tend to put it out of my mind. I would say this is such a sad thing to say, but because I didn't have a voice in that or a choice, but I wish I still were playing Ash, but not that we auditioned or had a chance to move on or anything. I don't know. For the most part, whatever I audition for, I hope I get. So I don't have a specific thing though. Yeah.
What's your opinion on the Zelgadis and Amelia, Kevin?
Zelgada's nice picture. As someone who's played Amelia, I don't really get the Zelgadis thing. I think she's very positive, and perhaps he's the yin to her yang with how depressed he is and his very low energy. So maybe that's an interesting thing. I don't know. I just don't know. I can't really go there, but as you look at this picture, she looks quite happy. So, this is from the thing, right? Did you draw this? She looks happy. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with it if that's where it is, but I'm not so sure. Yeah.
Two questions. How do you feel about the rumours that Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket, is Ash's real father? And do you think Ash's mom, Delia, is having an affair with Professor Oak?
Well, to address that, I think it is odd that every time Ash comes home, Professor Oak is there. But maybe he's just the handyman and that he fixes whatever Mr. Mime can't fix. Like the, pipes, plumbing, whatever. I don't really know, and certainly we've made jokes about that. And certainly we made jokes about Giovanni being Ash's dad all the time. But I have nothing to substantiate that rumor, except that we thought it was hilarious. Do you think so? I think in Pokemon Live, the show, they said he was. And we were, but I don't think that's, nowhere is it. Well, that's true, that he's always against his dad in a sense. Yeah, I don't know, it's the whole Darth Vader thing, I guess. But I don't know, not to ruin it for anyone. Yeah, I don't know, but we certainly make jokes about that all the time, especially for Professor Oak. But could you imagine Ash having to live with Gary? Just a little, that's too much.
What are your thoughts on the newest generation of Pokemon?
I don't have any thoughts on the newest generation of Pokemon, unfortunately. I don't watch the show at all, and I don't even know where they are with things. There's a million of them by now, right?
Like, over 600.
Is that right? I dropped out a while ago, I think. I haven't really seen any of it. I haven't seen the show, so I don't really know.
I'll give two questions. The first one is, will it be possible to get a hug from Michelle Monteiro?
Is that me? Yeah, sure. I like your fleecy outfit. Yeah.
The second one is, what advice would you have for other people getting into the voice acting business?
I think if you want to be a voice actor, I think it's important to be an actor first. So the main thing that you want to do is, be in as many shows as you can, take as many classes as you can, and be involved in any way. I think someone once told me that no matter what you want to do, get a job in that area. So if you want to be in film, even working at a movie theater is better than working at a fast food restaurant, because you're at least around people who have the similar interests that you have. Voice acting is all of your acting experience kind of distilled down into just your voice. So I think getting as much acting experience as you can is the most important thing. Learning, in that sense of staying in school, learning about as much as you can helps, because you're always calling upon all different parts of your education, even in pronouncing words. Latin helped me a lot. Also, it's always helpful to do a million things, because as an actor, it's very hard to just make a living being just an actor. So you never know when you're going to have to do who knows what, from carpentry to face painting to fixing someone's bike, I guess. And then if that's what you really want to do, I say just don't give up. You're welcome. Should I cut? Yeah.
Is there any particular role? Oh my God! That you